Hi everybody, Tim here with tonight's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 2, Episode 10, Sanctuary. This was a good episode. It was kind of an interesting episode, and this kind of shows how different of a series Deep Space Nine is from other Star Trek shows, but I'll get to that at the end. So this ship ends up coming through the wormhole, and it's like 4 or 5 different people, and a woman keeps trying to talk to us, but the communicator's just not picking it up yet. It's not making sense. As she keeps talking, it slowly starts working. Personally, I felt like that whole part just wasn't necessary. I feel like they could have just talked to us from the beginning, but whatever. It's interesting to note that one of the kids on the ship is, I guess not kid, I don't know, whatever, is Andrew Coing. It's the son of Walter Coing, the actor that played Chekhov. So it's Chekhov's son. So most people, if you ever saw Growing Pains back in like the early 90s, he played Boner. So anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting. Anyway, so this group of people come on board, and she talks about how her entire race has been conquered twice. First, they were conquered by one group of people who basically just enslaved them, and then that group of people got conquered, and now they're owned or whatever by a member of the Dominion. So this is now the second time we've heard of the term Dominion. And so we haven't met them yet, but we know that they're basically a big bad on the Gamma side of the quadrant, on the Gamma quadrant. So it's kind of interesting. So first off, this is a matriarch type society where the women are in control, which is something we did see in The Next Generation, and it was talked about in the original series, but we haven't, this is the first time we've seen it in Deep Space Nine. And it's kind of funny because she talks about how men are too emotional and all they want to do is fight, and it just makes sense to have women in control. And I was like, okay, I got that. So it's kind of, and later on when Kira goes to see this woman, like she has her 2 husbands, and she's like, go back to bed. And she's like, why don't you have husbands? Like, they're great. They have all sorts of uses. And Kira's like, oh, okay. So it's kind of interesting. Over the course of the episode, we see a lot of different stuff going on, like Nog especially just keeps antagonizing him and spraying him and stuff, which, to go back to the original series, it was kind of funny because at one point Odo drags Nog into the office, and Nog's kind of going through the pictures of like, oh, this person owes weapons, and oh, this person's that. If you look really closely, one of the pictures is Mr. Spock. He's like the 3rd one up. So I don't know why. Maybe he's like wanted because of the whole unification thing. Who knows? Maybe it's just a little shout out. Anyway, so as we go through the episode, the woman from the Gamma Quadrant has decided that Bajor is their messiah. That's the planet that is spoken of in myth that they need to get to. And so she asks if her entire race, 3 million people, can basically claim sanctuary, hence the title, on the planet of Bajor. And they even say, like, multiple times, like, oh, there's the northern peninsula, whatever, I can't say that word right now, and we'll just stay there. And everybody's like, no, that's like dead land. The Cardassians ruined it. You cannot stay there. And she's like, but we're farmers. Like, we can take care of it. And if we die, okay, but we just need a place to call home. So they call in some like prime minister types from Bajor, which it's a male and a female. The female is actually played by Armin Shimmerman's wife, Quark's wife in real life. So that was kind of interesting. And they have this long debate about it, and finally they're like, I'm sorry, but no. There's another M-class planet that's great for farming. It has mild winters. Your people can thrive there. We're still rebuilding our planet, and we just can't do it right now. And so they turn them away. Which, like I said, so I feel like if this was the Next Generation, because it's like the great utopia society as the Next Generation is, I feel like they would have come up to some sort of agreement and allowed the people to go to that planet. But with Deep Space Nine, things are not always that great thing, that great utopian society, and things very rarely work out the way we want them to. And they say no, and the people even say, like, we're farmers, your planet's having a famine, let us help you. And they're like, nope, this is our planet and we're gonna fix it. And it's really interesting. And the woman just basically takes it as like a personal attack from Kira, and Kira's like, hey, they're my people, they say no, the answer is no. So it was an interesting episode. I thought it was really good, and like I said, it's a darker type of episode than is what's normally seen. So for those who have seen this episode, what did you guys think about it? Did you agree with the Bajoran society? Like, I'm sorry, go find your own planet. Do you think they should have welcomed them? Do you agree with me on the Next Generation? I think they would have accepted them. Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for the YouTube subscriptions, the messages, the friend requests. Thank you for all of it. I will see you guys next time for Rivals.